Iran is facing a decisive moment. The signals from Washington points to a dangerous escalation. U.S. President Donald Trump has told Iranians to take over the country's institutions. In a post on Truth Social, Trump says, Iranian patriots, keep protesting, take over your institutions, save the names of the killers and abusers. They will pay a big price. I have cancelled all meetings with Iranian officials until the senseless killing of protesters stops. Help is on its way. MIGA, which stands for Make Iran Great Again. When asked about the specifics of his comment on help is on the way, Donald Trump told reporters, and I quote, "You're going to have to figure it out." The White House Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt, speaking to reporters, said that President Trump skipped the meeting of national security principles on Iran. However, the reason behind this remains unknown. Meanwhile, Ayatollah Khamenei's top aide and secretary of the Supreme National Council, Ali Larijani, has called Trump and Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu the main killers of Iranian people. Russia has issued a sharp retort against Trump's remarks. Moscow has slammed Washington in what it calls a subversive external interference in Tehran's internal politics. The Russian Foreign Ministry says the United States must be aware of disastrous consequences for the current situation in West Asia and global international security. U.S. Central Command and regional partners opened a new coordination cell at Al Udeid Air Base in Qatar to enhance integrated air and missile defense on January 12th. The base is located 200 to 300 kilometers away from the border with Iran, and the U.S. government has issued an emergency alert to urge its citizens to leave Iran. This comes at the back of U.S. President Donald Trump announcing a 25% tariff on any country doing business with Iran. Trump has repeatedly warned Tehran against the use of force to suppress the ongoing protests. White House Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt asserts that diplomacy remains Trump's first option, but that the president has shown he's unafraid to use military options if and when he deems necessary. Iranian envoys have been summoned in various countries in light of the protests in Iran. These countries include France, the United Kingdom, Germany, Denmark, and Finland. The death toll from anti-government protests in Iran has reached at least 2,000. US-based human rights activists news agency says that at least 10,721 people have been arrested. Trump has not yet elaborated on what the US is considering in terms of military options, nor on the proposed negotiations, despite saying that a meeting is being set up with Iranian officials. Earlier, Foreign Minister Abbas Araghchi insisted the situation is under total control in Iran, accusing Washington and Tel Aviv of fueling chaos through what he called terrorist networks, even claiming Israeli intelligence operatives, including Mossad, were involved in directing violence. Let's now talk to our correspondent, Susan Teherani, who's now joining us on the phone from New York. Susan, what do you think, or what do you make of Trump's latest comments on Iran?
On Tuesday, while President Trump was not present for the White House National Security meeting about Iran options, his administration's focus on Iran continues to intensify. Officials, including Marco Rubio, Pete Hegseth, and John Ratcliffe, met earlier to discuss policy toward Iran. Meanwhile, President Trump took to Truth Social to publicly address the situation in Iran's ongoing mass protest. He urged Iranians to keep protesting and, quote, take over your institutions, and said help is on its way, though he did not specify what form that help will take, whether diplomatic, economic, or military. Trump also canceled all meetings with Iranian officials. In addition, he's announced a 25% tariff on countries doing business with Iran to increase economic pressure on the regime.